we mentioned a little bit earlier about the total market not being as high as it should. From experience, of all these years you've been in the organic movement, what are some of the challenges, like specific challenges you've seen the organic movement have encountered in terms of trying to expand that market more to other consumers?
I think that the diversified routes to market is really important, and that includes export. We in the UK don't export as much organic food and drink as we do food and drink generally. So our own work has suggested it might be 19 to 20% of food and drink in the UK is exported. We think there might be half that percentage for organic. So there are opportunities there for UK companies to take their product further, and if that improves their overall sales volumes, the scale of economy, then that's great, because it helps them to do more organic business generally. I think equally, in the past, there's sort of restricted ranging in our main core retailers are sort of seeing organic as a sort of a nice to have rather than something that's really important and core to the offer. And I'm really pleased to see that is changing significantly. And I think really one of the biggest barriers that arguably we still face is that it's a complex message, organic, to understand why you as a consumer, if you're short on time, you're busy, you want to understand how picking up that particular product is a positive choice, and you want to understand that quickly. The complex message of, again, how the system of agriculture on balance is a better approach, how that relates to you personally, and then of course you enter into conversations there about cost. Organic food is inevitably, because it doesn't attempt to hide the cost of its impacts on the world, whether that's carbon, whether that's pollution, it can't compete on shelf with a product that hides those costs and pushes them elsewhere. So there is a very heated conversation that's gone on for some years in the UK around the cost of organic and how accessible that is to people on lower incomes. And I think that's one of the real anxieties and challenges for the organic movement, that we feel good food is a right, not a privilege, that everyone should have access to that. So we can't subsidize the food that's on the shelf. We can't bring the price of that down. We can only appeal to consumers to look at their priorities. Food is important, and if they possibly afford to spend more, then buying the right products, we would encourage them to do that. But equally, for those that don't have the freedom of that choice, then we can help in other ways, and that's one of the big drivers for our really successful and important Food for Life a partnership that we've led for over 10 years now, which has resulted in literally millions of meals every single working day going into schools, hospitals, and other settings where we know it's really important for organic to be one of the solutions, but also fundamentally for that food to be freshly prepared, for it not to have the nasty additives, and to make sure that particularly in less areas where people are less privileged, less wealthy, that these meals may be the only meal that child is getting that day. So we have other ways to address this food poverty, food inequality. It isn't just through organic, but where people can afford organic, we still think the price is very much justified. So I think that and the complex message around trust, integrity, sustainability, health, all those things are ongoing challenges for organic. But I think, as we mentioned earlier, the way people buy organic, the way that they get their information around their choices is changing. The general awareness of how food and farming and the environment all fit together is growing. So I think that's really positive for organic moving forward.